the back. And then, of course, coming to the 5 wickets to his name. Now, last time someone scored a 50 and then got 5 wickets in a World Cup match, it was way back in 2011. That man was also the most valuable player of that World Cup, and his name is Yuvraj Singh, starting with the bat and ball for India. And look at what India did in that World Cup. Now, the record breaker Shakib, first Bangladesh player to score 1,000 runs in a World Cup, first Bangladesh player to take a 5-wicket haul in a World Cup, second player to score a 50 and take 5 wickets in a World Cup match. And that's not all. There is more. Believe you me, there's more. Only the third player to score a century and take a 5-wicket haul in a World Cup. First player to score 400 runs and take 10 wickets in a World Cup. Only the second player to score 1,000 plus runs and pick 25 plus wickets in a World Cup. Phew. Those are massive numbers. I mean, it's pretty evident that this is possibly the best player Bangladesh cricket has ever seen. But if you put him there amongst the best all-rounders, I'm not saying is he the best, but does he deserve to be in that group now?
I think he's in the conversation with his contemporaries, without doubt. Those numbers are incredible. And once again, even just think about this tournament. He's probably been the player of the tournament so far.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can really dispute that. A couple of hundreds to his name, at least 150, a 5-wicket haul. It's been instrumental in pulling Bangladesh up into that 5th position where they're really challenging to the fore. But over the course of his career, he's probably been underrated, I reckon, with his performances over the years. And I think at the end, when he finishes his career, he's going to go down as one of the greats. And certainly, probably, arguably, the greatest Bangladesh player they've ever had.
You reckon? Same thing? Completely can't dispute. Has this World Cup brought him into that group, or was he always there?
He's always been there. You look at every time you look at the list of ICC all-rounders, he's either 1 or 2.
Yeah,
and that's been the case for a very long time. Look, you compare him to some of the all-rounders of the past. I don't think it's the right thing to do, but he definitely is a fabulous player. And again, as Has said, once his career finishes, he will go down as one of the best players to come out of Bangladesh, and he's done everything right. He's not put a foot wrong, except for that miss the boundary. I don't think he's put a foot wrong in this World Cup.
Just so fabulous with the ball. 5 wickets is not an easy feat, irrespective of what your skill level is or the opponent is. 5 wickets with the ball, he's decimated the opponent there pretty much.
I thought he showed his skill today, the way he changed his pace. I'm sure Kartik can talk about it a little bit more, the subtleties of it all, but I thought Afghanistan started well with the bat, and then the spinners came on, and particularly Shakib came on and just turned the game. They looked really hard to score off. He was picking up wickets regularly along the way, and yeah, it was a great performance with the ball. I don't know, you could probably say a bit more.
Completely. That's what he does. That's what he relies on. He's not a big spinner of the ball, but what they make up for is with that change of angle, the change of pace, and then getting the arm ball in at the right areas and to the right batsman. That's what he's always been good at, and also preempting what the batsman's going to do. Just the wicket when he got who was it, the left-hander stump. He could see it coming. He could see it coming that he was going to run at him. Even before he ran at him, he threw the ball wide and just back of a length so that he goes for it. So these are the kind of things which he's very, very good at.
In a sense, these are these mini battles, right? These mini battles before a ball is gone, you're trying to get into the batsman's head. And if you've gotten into his head, he's sort of won half the battle, in a sense.
You want to do that. You want to do that, but sometimes it's not the case. For a bowler, especially in white ball cricket or even in red ball cricket, you want to know what he's trying to do, or try and second guess him as often as possible. And the more you are right with that second guessing, the more you come up trumps. And that is what Shakib has always been good at. Look, he's always had to be the leader of the pack for Bangladesh. He's always given the ball at the toughest of times, and he's always come up trumps. And that's why he's one of the top all-rounders in the world for some reason. And again, it's not about the fact that he spins the ball big, no. It's just subtle variations, just changes of angle, changes of speed, changes of trajectory. That's what he's very good at.
It probably helps that he's a batsman himself and a very proficient batsman, because he'll be thinking, okay, what would I be thinking as a batsman here? And probably can just get one step ahead as a bowler and be able to second guess what the batter's trying to do.
Now let's show you the points table now, because courtesy this win, yes, Bangladesh still very much in contention to make the top 4. Now they've got, after 7 matches, they've got 7 points to their name. They are inching closer to England, and that top 4 is not so certain as it had looked a couple of days back. Now for all our viewers in the Caribbean, it is time for us to head back to England, as it's time for the post-match presentation with Harsha Bhogle, who's standing by with both the captains. Right, Sharia, we're talking about Shakib Al Hasan. I'm pretty sure all over the world, wherever there's a cricket discussion going on, all the chatter is around Shakib Al Hasan. I don't think there is any doubt about the fact that he is the best Bangladeshi player ever as things stand. But where does he rank for you as far as the great all-rounders of all time?
First of all, in his era, he is the best. It will not be fair to compare him with the greats who has played the game and who has retired. You cannot compare players of different era. But at this moment, he is the best all-rounder who is playing. You know, in this World Cup, with the ball, he has been always the leader for Bangladesh. The thing which has impressed me and all of the guys is the performance with the bat. He is he's an outstanding batsman. The record shows that, but the way he has batted in this World Cup is incredible. You know, six matches,
Yeah.
2 centuries, 350s, and one innings was like 41. You cannot get better than that. You know, he knows his game. Haas and like 12, 18, 20 balls, he comes with a bat also like that. But he's mentally very strong. He knows what he's doing, and as a bowler, he knows what the batsman is doing. You know, when he got stumped, the left-handed batsman stumped, he was saying that to Mushfiq, literally he was saying that I know he was coming and I put the ball straight and away to him. So this kind of mental strength is needed for a great player, and you know he's the best player Bangladesh so far has ever produced, and he has got 4 to 5 more years, so his numbers will get better, and he will be a better player when he finishes. So like hats off to Shakib.
Yeah, we'll show you a couple of his numbers in the World Cup and why everyone is raving about Shakib Al Hasan. Definitely the standout story of this tournament. 6 matches, 476 runs with the bat. He's also got 10 wickets to his name. Batting average close to 96. Sharia brought it up, Michael, and I was reading this as an article as well. He's not your typical type of player who's going to go in there, be the first one, and he'll be running around the ground. Then he's going to be doing some weights in the gym. He knows what he needs to do, and he backs that quite simply.
Yeah, Sharia made a really good point there about Shakib knowing and understanding his game. And as a cricketer, it's a long journey, and so you start off and you've got to do all the hard work and you've got to go up and down, but eventually you get to a stage when you sort of get to your late 20s, maybe early 30s, where you figure out how you play best, how you prepare for games, in the middle, in pressure situations, how you need to handle it. And it might be different from me to you to Kartik, but he's figured out what works for him. AB de Villiers is much the same. He doesn't like to hit a lot of balls and overtrain. He likes to be mentally and physically fresh coming to game. So perhaps Shakib is much the same. Knows his game, into the game mentally and physically fresh, so he can give his best effort on the day.
Now, of course, we've got viewers from Hotstar who are joining in for this game, and they were giving us their comments, and of course, all of them were around Shakib Al Hasan, no doubts about that. And this one is not around Shakib Al Hasan. Sahil from Jaipur, we were hoping you would talk about Shakib, but we're talking about the entire team. Bangladesh and Sri Lanka are keeping their hopes alive in the tournament, and India have to face both of them on their day. Both these teams could give India a challenge. Wonder if India's semi-final spot would be in danger.
Never know.
The next game is versus Bangladesh.
You never know. Strange things have happened in the sport, so you never know. And that's why we said in the pre-show that Bangladesh should be absolutely gung-ho about their place going forward, because they have beaten India. They are on an upward curve, an upward swing in this tournament, and that needs to be the motivation. And when you talk about Sri Lanka on a given day, just like never know. I'm not saying in danger, but they have to be wary.
I'm saying it's not impossible, but highly unlikely. I think India are a good enough team,
But they've given themselves the best chance
they've
now.
given themselves a chance. But India, they've got so much talent, so much class. One of the favorites coming in expected in the semi-finals.
But that game is a little up tomorrow.
Yes.
So my
Is Australia's place in the semi-finals in danger?
really, I think it's
Maybe.
England.
Maybe.
No, I'm just kidding.
You know, England.
Trying to span.
lose this game was Australia, Mike. I think it's going to be some serious trouble, right? It's
England is the big rivalry. You walk around the streets in Australia, all the cricket fans, they say, whatever you do, you can lose to anyone in the world, just beat England. so
So it's like